this October 16th regular session of the Oconee County Board of Education to order. First order of business is we need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burgess, Mr. Ransom, all in favor? Passes 5-0. Next, we need a motion to approve the minutes from our September 18th regular session and our October 2nd work session. Ms. Parrish?
Second.
Mr. Hammack, all in favor? Passes 5-0. Next, we have recognitions. Mr. Colquitt, welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Argo. Evening, board members and Dr. Branch. If y'all please come forward, we've got a lot of special guests to see this evening. As you do come forward, I'd like to note that the hallway art display this month is provided by the students of Colum Ferry Elementary School. Their instructor is Allison Winter. Their second graders have been studying a renowned artist from Japan who developed a love for plants, especially pumpkins, growing up in a nursery. She covers her pumpkins with bright colors and dots, much as our students have done in the artwork you can see on the screen. First tonight, the board will recognize the 2023-24 Superintendent Student Advisory Committee members. There are 6 representatives each from Oconee County and North Oconee High Schools. The seniors are Viveka Marothra, Nathan Dowis, Akshat Biswal, Zanaya Griffin, Michael Ricks, and Allison Waltman. The juniors, Siaya Mapani, Bochin Shin, Victoria Leopold, Kennedy Wiedauer, Caden Sorrells, and Campbell Patterson. All right, so let's get a couple of you guys to come over here for me, would you? No, you guys are fine. Y'all just come over here for me. There we go. Burgess, find you a gap there for me.
Hey, I didn't get on my front row.
Okay, everybody, here we go. And one more. And one more. Hold on for parents. Any parents?
Good looking grid.
Okay, congratulations.
Best meeting I attend.
The board now will recognize the October Pursuit of Excellence winner from Transportation, Raymond Wilson. Mr. Wilson will be receiving gift cards from Peach State Federal Credit Union, Chops and Hops, and Rosie's Hometown Meats, as well as an umbrella and a commemorative plaque from Oconee County Schools. Mr. Wilson, this is the part where I get to embarrass you just a little bit.
Okay.
Here's some comments that some of the folks made about you. You stay there with the group, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Wilson has gone above and beyond in his role as driver of number 32. He is pleasant, jovial, and professional. My entire neighborhood is so lucky to have his service. He continuously provides superior service, and I want him to know how appreciated he is. Some additional comments. Mr. Wilson is a true asset to our team. He is kind and welcoming to our students. He brings a positive energy to his bus, and the children feed off of that. He is committed to being a safe and efficient bus driver. We are thankful he's part of our team. Congratulations.
And he's a huge Dogs fan.
Huge dog. There we go. Okay, y'all, that looks great. One more. All right, hold on. Anybody else? Come on up.
This is his one.
Come on up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
mention that today begins National School Bus Safety Week, and drivers like Mr. Wilson, as well as the monitors, mechanics, supervisors, and our leaders, they provide tireless efforts to protect our children on a daily basis. They play a vital role. As I understand it from Dr. Shelton, our buses traveled 1 million miles last year. That's trips to the moon and back 2 times. And we're headed toward, I think, another million this year. Next, the board will recognize the 4-H Masters in Project Achievement awardees, both from Norfolk County High School, Tyson Mathis in Forestry, and Connor Watson in Wildlife and Marine Sciences.
All right, we'll stand right here in the middle, guys.
Great job. And one more. Carter. Okay, congratulations. Now the board will recognize the 4-H Northeast District Senior Board members, again from Norfolk County, Tyson Mathis, who's serving as president, and Oconee County High's McCall Woodruff.
Like the speed, you came back through.
Now we'll recognize the 4-H Northeast District Junior Board members from Oconee County Middle, John David Marable, who's serving as Vice President, Liam Garrett, and Kate Healy, and from Malcolm Ridge Middle, Sawyer Mathis. All good. Ms. Argo, step right there. There you go. Folks, there we go. It's great. And one more. Hold on. That's some paparazzi in the back. Okay. That concludes recognition for tonight.
I remember him running around the bases over and over and over and over.
And he's still they've all passed me, so tell them hello.
Dr. French, we've got 20 more of your superintendent's advisory committee that were a little bit late. Can they
We
step
can
in?
come back to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna call you out. Right, if we just go straight back, I think we'll cover it up.
It's a busy group. Hey, absolutely. No, you guys have a lot going on. Sure you're going further.
Go and turn it.
Y'all slide it over, guys.
I think I
Go.
did. Here we go, here we go,
Grab the
here we
photo.
go.
Jump up here.
Wait,
Big, right?
Kennedy's not here, so there he is.
Thank you.
And Dia.
Lynn, won't y'all come up here for us, get
Right
us?
here.
Over here.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Great job. All right, here we go. One more. Gotcha, all right, hold on.
More.
One
more
more.
right here?
I think one more minute.
Thank you.
You're better looking than the last group.
Okay, next on our agenda is points of pride. We welcome Colin Berry.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Catherine Brown, and I'm the proud principal at Collin Ferry Elementary School. As you know, CFES is proud to have been a STEM certified school for the past 7 years. A large part of STEM practices include interdisciplinary connections, in which students learn content through integrated learning experiences instead of in isolation. Also, process skill development is very important, as we believe students need opportunities to develop critical thinking, communication, and problem-solving skills. So several years ago, the Georgia Department of Education began work to update the mathematics standards, and these standards are now being implemented as of this school year. Some of the big changes within the standards are a move towards practices like you see here that create a stronger connection between real-world applications of mathematics and the development of process skills, such as reasoning and communication. In essence, practices that we have been working hard to implement for years at Collin Ferry as a STEM certified school. So I'm excited to introduce you to Mike Stanton, our Collin Ferry assistant principal, and Julie Shermer, CFES 5th grade teacher and math teacher extraordinaire, to share a little bit more about the revised mathematics standards and what the implementation looks like at Collin Ferry.
At CFES, we incorporate a variety of mathematics teaching practices daily. We strongly believe in the power of making math education engaging and effective for all of our students. Our teachers adopt tasks that encourage real-world problem solving, foster mathematical discussions among students, and help them connect different mathematical concepts. We employ project-based learning units that create interdisciplinary links and connect math standards across the entire curriculum. This approach allows for our students to better understand mathematical concepts and their connection to the real world around them. Our classrooms are not silent with this teacher lecturing. Instead, our teachers ask purposeful questions that prompt discussions from our motivated Mustangs that engage in vibrant mathematical discussions and demonstrate their thought process using manipulatives and multiple representations when exploring concepts.
The best practice of mathematics challenge teachers to pose purposeful and relevant questions. These questions are meant to invite students into the problem so that way they can be excited to solve real-world situations. What you see before you is an example of a purposeful question used in a 5th grade classroom to explore fractional understandings. When you enter a classroom at Collin Ferry, you'll see students that are going to draw with models. You're also going to see them utilizing manipulatives and using student discourse, which is students discussing math with each other. Also, you're going to see that students will make sense of problems and persevere when solving them. Since the students are eager to solve the problem because it's a real-world problem, they're going to stick with the problem until they get a solution. Manipulatives are going to allow students to reason both abstractly and quantitatively. This means that students will have multiple ways of representing numbers and understand the relationships between numbers. Therefore, they're knowing math at a much deeper level. Through purposeful questioning by the teacher, the students will learn how to construct viable arguments and critique the work of their peers. This is done in the classroom in a way such as this. Students may say, I agree with your reasoning because, or I respectfully disagree because, as you can see in my model, I got a solution of 120. So they begin to discuss with each other how they found different solutions. With discourse, students will strengthen their mathematical understanding and also fine-tune any misconceptions that they may have by reviewing the work of others and making connections between their own strategies and strategies of their peers. In a column-vary math classroom, the teacher is the facilitator. They allow students to engage in the productive struggle in problem-solving strategies. As the facilitator, the math teacher will honor each student's math identity and allow them to show how they solve the problem. Column-vary teachers will provide students opportunities for growth with their purposeful questions and also by providing necessary manipulatives for students to be successful within the problem. And as you can see here, the teachers have manipulatives always out and available for students. As the facilitator, column-vary math teachers will select representations to guide student learning. The solutions are sequenced based on pedagogical skills. First, teachers will show physical representations. These are ones that have math manipulatives. Then they'll move into visual representations, which are drawing of mathematics. And finally, symbolic representations, which are equations and expressions. All the methods lead to the same solution, but students were able to make sense of the problems and see connections between them to deepen their mathematical understanding rather than just simply memorizing. Here's just one more example of a purposeful question posed to students, and you can see the variety of ways that they solve them: physical, visual, and symbolic, all with the same solution.
Hi, awesome. And 15 and 15 is 30. So 1/8 and 1/8 would be 2/8, which is 1/4, which means Zach has 30. And 2/4 is equal to 1/2, which means 30 plus 30 is 60, so James has 60. And then 1/2 and 1/2, 60 and 60 would equal 120 tokens in all. I couldn't do math. Thanks, what did you get?
So, I have my board right here, which I didn't know how much it was at first, and then I have the half that he gave to James, and the half he gave to Michael.
And I stop it there, it continues, but the students, as you can see here, as you saw in the video, were using the mathematical practices within their classroom. They're using math models, they're using discourse, and of course, they're discussing with each other, they're agreeing with each other's work, constructing viable arguments for why they agree or disagree. All that to be said, column-vary teachers are able to build a positive mathematical community when they do these things in the classroom.
So as you can see, those kiddos and this teacher are pretty incredible and incredible discourse about mathematics that happens every day. So thank you so much for your time. Do you all have any questions for us?
No, but thank you. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Burgess.
Do you find that students will sort of gravitate to one of those methodologies over others, and for whatever reason they have a better understanding and they grasp one better than others, and that becomes their mode to solve?
Often students will start one way. One of the reasons we pose those purposeful questions and allow for math manipulatives is that so it allows for multiple entry points for the students to be successful. Some students, as you say, will go straight to the algorithm, but not all students understand why that algorithm works. So math manipulatives are provided or drawings are allowed in the classroom so they become more comfortable. Probably one of my favorite moments as a teacher is I asked a student to share one of her strategies, and she said, "Yes, ma'am, I will. However, after talking with my peers, I realized that my method was not as efficient and effective as yours." I won't choose to use that one again, but yes, I will honor it. That So to answer that, yes, but I think the students become so comfortable in the classroom that they realize that they could use a mode of representations. And some decide that they become excited and want to show math in more than one way. So if they might finish early, they might see, can I take my algorithm and can I show it with a math model or with a picture to be able to deepen my reasoning and show others what I understand.
If I'd had you as my teacher 50 years ago, I might have done a little bit better. In some
Can
of
we
my
go
math
back
classes.
to the
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really good, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is presentations and discussions. We have business services. Welcome, Mr. Smith.
I'm happy to finally follow a math presentation. I think you might have found a good place to recruit for your chief financial officer in 2040. There we go. Okay, so our first report tonight is our usual cash balance report. It shows our cash in our various funds. Second, we have our September vendor report, which shows the vendor payments that we did for the month of September. This is just the very first page of that. We have our September budget report. Remind you that this actually comes in 3 different sections. The first is the revenue. Second is an expenditure by function. It's a summarized version of the expenditures, and then the rest of the report is function by object. Our fourth item is our ELOS collections report for September. If you'll see, came in very well in September for the month of August. We actually went up another $15,000, which was a 20.74% increase over a year ago. Our 14-month average, rolling average, is 17.3. So SPOS collections are coming in quite well right now. We have our ELOS 5 report. This report is also in 2 sections. We have our revenue section and then our expense section. Then we have another report like that for ELOS 6. Have our revenue and our expense section. Then we have our federal funds report. The first page illustrated up here is our revenue section. Remember, federal grants come in on a reimbursement basis, so there's always a time lag in receiving the funds. And then the last page of that is our actual expenditures to date. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you. Next on our agenda is communications to the board. Mr. Cochran?
Ms. Argo, no one has signed up to speak to the board this evening.
Okay, thank you. And next we have our action items. Dr. Branch.
Yes, ma'am. If it pleases the board, we can take both of these together. They are field trips for FBLA to go to Providence, Rhode Island, and also Oconee County High School's FBLA to go to Orlando. We recommend those be approved as presented.
We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Hammond?
Second.
Ms. Parrish, all in favor? Passes 5-0. All right, next, we do have a need to move into executive session and need a motion to do so.
I will make a motion that the board will adjourn to executive session to discuss or deliberate upon personnel matters as described in the affidavit to be attached to the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Parrish.
Second.
Mr. Ransom, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, we'll take a few minutes, board members, to clear the room.